Hello, my name is Devon Gasparotto, and today I will be talking about safety and ethics when it comes to designing games for the real world. So, real world games, that's not something you usually hear. So, as its name implies, it's a game that you participate in, but instead of taking place in some sort of virtual environment or virtual world, it takes place in the real world, and you play in part of it. And when I talk about ethics, that takes place it's a bit different than it would be with a regular game. In regular games, you have certain rules and safeguards on the player that applies. A lot of this doesn't operate in a real world environment. Just think of how there's no control really on how you act in the real world. So, as a game designer, you have to be smart in designing mechanics that inhibit certain behavior you don't want to happen, as well as promoting behavior that you do want to happen. Failure to even consider these can be devastating to you as a designer. We've seen plenty of failures in our first attempt at real world games with Pokemon Go. Who would have ever considered the impact of trespassing in a game? Stepping over the boundary of military zones or people's personal property, and even Holocaust sites. Last summer there were many incidents of this, and when designing these games we need to be considerate of trespassing people's property. And with any form of entertainment, we become very easily immersed in our game or whatever it is, and we're not aware of our surroundings, especially with phones now. When we are always looking down at our phones, we might not be aware of things like traffic or some sort of other safety issue. There was reports of people almost walking off cliffs because they were so immersed in the game. Imagine a child not fully aware of things like this. It could really have serious consequences. So how can we solve these kind of problems? The first one I'm going to start with is safety and trespassing, and was introduced by a YouTuber named Extra Credits. He said, the world is so vast and enormous, we can't put these safety guards everywhere. We have to have a specific mechanism that's community driven, where people can individually add their input in different areas. So let's say on my phone and I see something like a cliff, like, oh, nobody should go here. What if I add a marker there or a flag to warn other people not to go there? As more of these flags are added in a particular region, the system should become self-aware that, hey, I should warn players when they're in this area to be careful of these things. And it gives you a warning when you're in these areas saying, hey, look around. So that's an interesting community-driven way solution to get around that kind of problem. So given the success of Pokemon Go, we'll no doubt see more of these experiences going forward. And if we're not careful now how we craft these experiences, we'll see severe consequences going forward. As with any form of media, when it crosses some sort of boundary, lawmakers tend to be the people to judge and decide what becomes right and wrong. And honestly, they're probably not the best people to judge in the first place. But I have a feeling that they could put huge restrictions on this and limit our creativity as game designers. And of course, that doesn't help in the end.